Welcome. We're going to talk about adding fractions with mixed numbers. I've noticed that some students are learning to add fractions with mixed numbers by turning the fractions into improper fractions first, adding, and then reverting them back into mixed numbers, which I feel like is extra work. I don't think it's that big of a struggle to carry over, just like you would if you were adding two numbers together. The main thing is finding a common denominator. The whole numbers really shouldn't present a problem for us. We have 1 and 3, we'll get there. So we could say this is 4 and something. I just don't know what. Now, I like to, as always, stack my fractions. And I want to find out what my common denominator is so that I can multiply to get there. Notice that I'm not doing anything with these mixed numbers. I'm just transferring them over, and really I could just write 1/2 and 1/5. The LCD for 1/2 and 1/5 is 10. That is the smallest number. That's the least common denominator. It's the smallest number that 2 and 5 are both factors of. To multiply to get to 10, I need to multiply 1/2 by 5 over 5, the equivalent fraction of 1, and I need to multiply by 1/5 by 2 over 2. So I just transferred the 1 over and I transferred the 3 over, because really when you're multiplying fractions, you would want to turn it into a mixed number, but we're not doing that here. We're leaving the whole numbers as is. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 2 is 2. This turns into 1 and 5/10 plus 3 and 2/10. Adding, I have 4 and 7/10. 7/10 is simplified, I have 4 whole, I'm finished. If you were going to turn this into improper fractions, then find a common denominator, and then add them, you would then have to turn it back into a mixed number, and I just feel like it's a little bit extra work. Let's see what happens when I have more than a whole in my problem. In this next problem, I have 1 and 1/3 plus 2 and 4/5. Okay, setting this up, 1 and 1/3 plus 2 and 4/5. I have to think about what my LCD is. I'm transferring those whole numbers over, and I'm just working with those fractions. The LCD, the smallest denominator for both 3 and 5 is 15. That is the smallest number that 3 and 5 are both factors of. 3 times 5 gets me 15. That means I need to multiply by 5 over 5. And 5 times 3 gets me to 15, which means I need to multiply by 3 over 3. Multiplying straight across, 1 times 5 is 5, 4 times 3 is 12. Now I can just add. I've got, if I was to say 3 is a whole number, and then 12 plus 5 is 17/15. Uh-oh, I have too many. What this means is I have another whole number. That's all it means. It just means that there's an extra 15 in there and I can rewrite it. 17/15 is the same thing as 1 and 2/15, right? So this is 3 plus that 1 and 2/15, which is the equivalent of 4 and 2/15. All I did was I just carried over how much whole numbers I had left over. I'm not carrying over 17, I'm carrying over how many 15/15 there are. Okay, so this 1 represents 15/15. I'm looking for whole numbers. That's 1 whole with 2 left over. That 3 plus the 1 is 4, and I have 4 and 2/15, and I'm finished. I encourage you to not turn your fractions into mixed numbers and try and just carry over what you have for extra. Thanks for watching.